Hey beautiful souls, it's Christabel here. Today I would like to start to introduce to you how you can heal. So a lot of you now have more of an understanding of how this process works and how this experience with our divine counterparts brings up a lot of wounding for us to look at and heal. But now it's time to start looking at how we actually can heal these wounds. Now, I will first off start by saying that the process itself actually does a lot of healing in its own rights. And once I explain to you what I'm going to explain in this video, you should start seeing the bigger picture and start seeing how what you're already doing is actually healing so much. So the first thing I would like to do is actually explain in simple terms what energy is and how energy works, and this will start to show you how healing works. We can view healing as shifting energy. Energy can't actually be destroyed, but it can be transmuted to the light. That's why we have chosen to come down into these heavily wounded ancestral lines, coming in to embody the pain and to embody the wounds so that we can actually transmute it from kind of being on the front lines. In this way, we can view it as being the cleanup crew. So you can't actually transmute it from above, you actually have to come down, embody it, and then shift it. So when I said that, you may have been thinking, what about our guides? Can't our angels and our ascended masters and spirit guides do some of this healing on our behalf? Yes, they can, but they have to have our free will. So they're doing it as facilitating healing for us with our right as human beings. So without us here to actually ask them to help us conduct this work, they wouldn't actually have a platform to do it in the first place, which is why we've come here. I wanted a really simple way of explaining how energy works and a simple way to introduce how this all plays out. So I've just done up a little diagram, and the way I'm going to explain the energy is by thinking of it as being in 3 different states. So energy can either be blocked, it can be integrating, or it can be flowing. So I'll just read out the keywords I have here. So we can think of energy as being blocked, as being stuck, stagnant, when we are feeling frustrated or numb, a feeling of being unable to move forward, a dullness, depression, hopelessness, physical pain, and mental sluggishness. Then when we have shifted that energy out of being blocked, it is in an integrating phase, which can look like hibernation, the death part of a cycle of death and rebirth. It can be when you're in a stage of feeling very socially reclusive or feeling like you're in hibernation or a bit of a hermit. It requires a lot of sleep and a lot of nurturing. It can be connected with having ascension symptoms and like a spiritual flu. And it can also be related to a phase of being like a butterfly in a cocoon. So this is a stage where this energy has started to move and it requires a lot of sleep and other things, a lot of nurturing to help facilitate this healing. So the integrating stage is the healing stage of the energy in motion. So far we've looked at the blocked phase, which is the sign that we need healing. Then we've looked at the integrating stage, which is the healing stage. And then we've got the in-between stage, which is when the energy is flowing. So in this stage, keywords include energetic, hopeful, vitality, vigor, joy, movement, clarity, understanding, happiness, excitement, and faith. So this is the stage in between the healing. This is the stage where you get to reap the rewards of all of your hard work. This is the stage where you get to feel light and free and happy. And this is where people get confused. People start to think that because they've done this cycle of healing and they're in this energetic stage, the free-flowing stage, they feel like that's it, they're done. And then they feel really They feel hurt and they feel confused when they go through another cycle. Do you ever have the feeling after a cycle of healing, a cycle of death and rebirth, when you are in the free-flowing stage and then go back to another block stage, do you ever have the feeling that you've gone backwards? Do you feel like you've done all of this hard work, you've done all of this spiritual awakening work, spiritual healing work, and then you feel awesome, and then you feel crap again? And you're sitting there feeling crap, and you feel like you've actually taken 2 steps backwards, and you feel like everything that you've done is worthless, and what was the point of it? Because I'm right back where I started. If this is how you feel, I'm telling you now, that is not actually the case at all. You do not lose any of the growth that you have achieved. You do not lose any of the growth and the evolution and the expansion that you have achieved. All this is doing another deeper layer. So every time you cycle back, you are actually becoming lighter and freer. It is not actually a ladder where you climb and then take 2 steps back. Climb and then take 2 steps back. It's actually a spiral. And I've explained it like this before. So just think of the bottom being where you started out. And every part of the spiral is actually a cycle of the 3 phases of energy that I showed you. And with each cycle you achieve, you actually grow and expand out and out and out, up further and further and further. Each time you have one of these cycles, you are expanding, you are ascending, you are rising, and you are creating healing for the world, for yourself, and you are creating a brighter future. And when you start understanding this, it makes it easier. It makes it less painful. Because when you go through another cycle, you know that the blocked phase is not going to last. You know that the integrating phase is not going to last. And you can also start to enjoy the free-flowing period more. In that time, you can be more present. You can allow yourself to be in the now moment. And you can allow yourself to enjoy the peace that you have earned. And when you come back to another cycle of death and rebirth, you can appreciate it for what it's bringing to your life. You can appreciate the fact that you are creating something better for yourself. And when you come back to another period of peace, you can enjoy it. You can find peace in that moment. And you don't have to be scared of another cycle of death coming for you. It becomes less confusing, it becomes less painful, and you start to surrender to the process, and you start appreciating it, and you start to actually value it. And you don't try to hide from it, you don't try to run from it, you are no longer scared of it because you understand it. For those of you that are on the twin flame experience, I want you to realize that just going through the experience, going through the dance of this relationship is actually facilitating so much healing on its own. There are many, many things we can do to assist in this process, and the next video I will make will be some easy ways that you can do this healing work and the shifting of energy in other ways outside of the relationship. But the experience itself, the mirroring process of bringing up the old wounds that you have within you, this is shifting so much energy. So just going through the emotions, looking at your wounding, allowing the old soul pain and trauma to come forward and then feeling it, that alone is conducting and shifting energy. Conducting healing and shifting energy. Just allowing yourself to feel emotion shifts energy. Emotion actually stands for energy in motion, emotion. So allowing yourself to feel the pain that this experience brings on for you, that is healing. You don't have to feel like you have to do all of these other things to facilitate healing for yourself. Although I do recommend it, I don't want you to feel pressure about it. And I want you to know that just what you are doing, living life, going through emotions, that is doing so much. And that is why this twin flame mission is so big. And that is why it is working. Okay guys, I think I'm going to leave it there for this video, and then look for my next video that will be coming up, which will give you some easy ways that you can do this work and to shift some energy in your life. Have a beautiful day guys. See you next time.